What's up, All-Inners, and welcome to another episode of the All-In Podcast, a podcast for casual leaguers. I am the League Dad, and as always, I'm joined by the boys. We've got Kevin, Mitchell, Alistair, lock-in, finals done. That was so friggin' hype, man. I love that we started the season this way, like, just to have a tournament, in the beginning and have it be as close of a series as it was in the finals. Pretty much the top two teams, Liquid, a lot of, we wanted to see a lot of them, and then C9 with Perks, we wanted to see a lot of them, and we got a lot of games from them. And so it was fun to see. When it came to predictions, I do have to say, I got to give credit to Mitchell here. You are the prediction king. None of us predicted C9 to make it to the finals, and yet here you are. So let me give you a little bit of a platform here. You can take about 30 seconds to gloat. But I mean, you were right in all of that. Were you surprised by anything? I mean, I know you predicted C9, but come on, man. Did you expect it to even go to? I mean, it was game 5. Went to 5 games in the finals too. So give me your thoughts, man. You really thought they were going to be that good, huh?
I don't know if that good is the right word. I think they were both a bit worse than I thought they were going to be, both 100 Thieves and C9. Because it took a while for C9 to start taking both Galio and TF away from 100 Thieves. And when 100 Thieves did get Galio and TF, for some reason they put Damonte on Rise still, and then gave Huhi Galio. And they lost that game, and I was like, he can't play Rise. It was very obvious Damonte couldn't play Rise. He was really bad on him. So I don't know, and I felt like 100 Thieves, if they just put Damonte on Galio in that, I think it was game 4 or game 3, they would have just won. I really do.
Yeah, it was game 4. He picked Set.
He picked Set. That's right.
Set
His Set was bad too.
They flexed Galio support.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand that. And you know why I think they picked Rise? Because again, you got a roaming mid laner. So you can't get Galio if you can't get TF. Rise is another one of those champs that can kind of shove wave and, make a play on the side lane. Didn't work out for him, and kudos to Cloud9 for banning his comfort picks. But you're right, like the Galio support pick in game 4, that was super confusing to me. I think again, even if you put Huhi on freaking Set is good. I don't know why they didn't.
He's really good.
Do that in the first place. It's kind of like you pick the right champs, but you pick the wrong people to play those champs.
Exactly.
And honestly, I think that was a huge mistake. But credit to C9 for hanging in there and coming out with the win. Dude, Blabber is looking pretty good on that Udyr, man. I mean, Udyr seems pretty strong to begin with, but I mean, you guys are giving me the little. So are we not
giving, man?
Okay, but he still played it amazing, and the fact that other teams didn't prioritize, Udyr wasn't picked once for 100 Thieves, either not banned or not picked. So I mean, it's their fault for not picking him. So I mean, give credit to Blabber for at least using the pick and abusing it for the win.
Yeah, this is where I'll give C9 credit, where I think they're actually better over Team Liquid and 100 Thieves for this aspect, is they understand the meta better. They're prioritizing Udyr, and they're actually experimenting with enchanters top and bot. I think they could still experiment with enchanters mid, because Perks is kind of a liability. You put him on Karma or Lulu or something, maybe he looks better. But they're still playing him on Orianna, so I do think C9 is playing the meta better. But yeah, some of their team play and their plays are really rough.
I have to agree with you. Now here's a question. I think we kind of were all, I wasn't hoping for this, but it was kind of a litmus test for us to see with EG, because they had started off strong in the tournament, but we were kind of saying they were having easier competition, and they basically got bageled by Team Liquid. Was this pretty much what you guys expected from EG? And was there anything good that maybe you could take away from them going forward, or is this kind of look like what we're really going to see in the season?
Does anybody want to take this EG?
Yeah, I'll take it because I'm more invested in this series than most people.
Yeah.
I would say that like if you watch the actual matches, like they were pretty fast games, but there was like some semblance of hope in a decent amount of those games. I think EG still their drafting was pretty bad. The priority on the Gnar was kind of poorly put because it's not that the Gnar pick is bad per se. Like I think Impact can play Gnar as we saw in previous years. It's literally the way they played around it. I was like, why are you using like weak side Gnar? Is that really the only thing you had in your book? And then you literally saw Team Liquid smash it in game 3 with the same Gnar pick. It did Aatrox away. So I think it's just they didn't know how to play together. Like you should not be putting your newer top winner on that pick. Actually, I'll take that back. You should if you. Sorry, cat. You should if you.
For those of you not watching, his big old cat tail on Kevin's camera. That's funny.
I think this is still the time to do it. I think EG didn't think they were going to beat Liquid anyways, so there's like, all right, let's start like getting some synergy down. Let's start learning some comps, see if we can run it. And they're like, okay, didn't work.
Yeah.
And to their credit, they switched it off of Gnar out in game 3 and then got smashed by Gnar. So
yeah,
it's not like they were. That was the first time I saw Gnar do anything this tournament, but
yeah.
It was good. It was really good in that one game. So
yeah, I saw a couple of good Gnar plays, but man, I don't know. Like I feel like it's just that risky. I mean, playing around that rage bar, and then you're really what you're banking on is that ult, right? But it's such like a circumstantial like thing. And your player just has to time it right and make sure that everything is in the right pieces. And when it does happen, the very few times, it's amazing. And, a game can be won off of that. But really, is it that much of a priority to pick that when you have very small chances or opportunities to make those kinds of plays? So I don't know if, Gnar should be prioritized as much as it is, and maybe we're just not seeing something that they're seeing in scrims, but for whatever the case, he does seem to be picked quite often. But going to the Team Liquid C9 match, I mean, I think we can all say that was pretty hype. After the first two games when Team Liquid won those games, I was just about to like say something in Discord to Mitchell and like blow in his face, but then it's a good thing I did it because C9 started to make that comeback, and I was
nice try, buddy.
I was sweating, but thank the Lord that Team Liquid is still able to pull through. But that was an amazing series, guys. What are your thoughts on it overall between those two teams?
What do you think, Alistair? Let's hear from you.
Sven, you played good.
He did.
Yeah.
I'm not against Sven. I know it sounds like I am. I feel like a lot of the time he gets more credit than he deserves. He's playing well. Good for him.
Yeah.
God, these series were boring though. I'm so tired of watching Karma and Seraphine just, oh boy, everyone's Moonstaff. Oh boy, it's not
the Moonstaff meta.
It's not fun. I didn't watch the last 4 games. I only watched the first 100 Thieves game. Then I saw I don't know. I just got bored.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought these series was pretty action packed actually, especially in the early game.
I tuned in at some points. Like I popped back in for 5-10 minutes here and there, but most of the time I just felt bored. Oh boy, Udyr's walking at someone. I've heard Mitchell's comms playing Udyr. Like
gosh.
It's as much as it's just.
Kentech Udyr is such a freaking just like it's so annoying to see. Like I feel for the players running away from him because it's hopeless.
He's a monstrosity. Yeah, he's kind of a stupid.
It looked like a solo queue game.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Most of the games they just looked like solo queue games, but but everyone just knows how to farm. That's what it looked like to me. It just.
I think there's a little more thought put into those games. I thought that.
I mean, there is, obviously. Yeah. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but I don't know.
When we take a look let's look at Fudge and Alphari in the top lane. I thought that matchup was really interesting, the back and forth. Alphari was clearly the better player, but we saw what happened in Game 4 when you did finally give Fudge a counter matchup. His Aurelia into Gnar really, really good matchup for Aurelia, right?
Yeah.
And he was able to punish. He got a lot of early trades, CS advantage. He was able to pop off in fights with that advantage. So that was really impressive from Fudge
Yeah.
to see, right?
For
It
sure.
kind of gave me shades of like when Broken Blade first came over. He was kind of new, but he had played in a previous league and like a lower league, and he starts popping off against some really good players when he gets a good matchup.
Yeah.
I remember when Broken Blade first came over, he was solo killing Someday and Huni and Licorice on champs, and that was pretty crazy. So it's nice to see Fudge play against like a really good top laner in Alphari and win a matchup he's supposed to win, right?
Yeah.
And then he had some mistakes here and there. We can talk about those too. What are you guys' thoughts on Fudge?
Well, I
Let's
mean,
talk about Fudge.
so with Fudge, it's like, okay, I feel like game one, I could be wrong, but I think did they like first pick him Camille or something like that?
No, he played Lulu. Oh wait,
no,
did he?
no,
No,
no.
he did.
No,
That was
Lulu was
100
banned
Thieves.
the whole series.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
that's
believe
right, that's right.
they first picked Camille, which I thought was dumb because then they gave Alfari the counter with Jax, and you're like, all right,
No,
you're
yes.
already setting him up,
That's
and
right, that's right.
pretty much, yeah, Alfari was able to kind of manhandle him there. And then I like what they did is they kind of, well, I don't want to say I liked it, but it seems like they're trying to figure out what to do with them, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
is he going to be a liability? If he is, then let's give him someone like Karma, right? Somebody who could just be there, be useful. But then they were like, you know what? Let's try giving him Aurelia, and he stomped that game, right? But then in game 5 they gave him Aurelia again, and Alfari had GP, and it didn't really work out quite the same way. So I think they're still trying to figure out how to play with him in a sense of what is his role? What should we give him? Should we just let him be a weak side, another support, weak side, just kind of absorb some pressure, or maybe he can have some games where he can carry. So I don't think there's a clear game plan yet with him.
Yeah, for sure.
And I will say, of course, it sucks that he's playing against Alfari, who's already shown to be probably the best, or at least top 2 top laners. I mean,
I
that
think
was
he's the best.
yeah,
he's
he
the
was.
best. Yeah.
It's hard, yeah, definitely. I mean, you could definitely make a
Statistically,
case
he's
for
the
that.
best.
Yeah,
In playmaking, he's the best right now. Like
Yeah.
Sunday is not actually playing as well as he should be.
Yeah.
That
Mm-mm.
we expect from him, and then Impact got manhandled
sure.
in
The-
some of those games.
The difference between Someday and Alfari I've noticed is they both are very lane dominant, but then Alfari actually takes his lead and carries the game elsewhere.
Yeah,
I don't feel that way with Someday. Someday he can stomp lane, maybe go up more CS than Alfari gets, but he doesn't roam around. He doesn't get kills. He doesn't
Yeah.
shove his advantage in other places on the
Yeah.
map. Alfari does that.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I thought it was pretty interesting that we talked about this a little bit with Tactical loving to pick that Samira, especially against a Leona and Udyr in one game. Leona TF, like he does go cleanse, but man, that's pretty ballsy. And even though they lost
Very
game
ballsy.
4, he was 9-3-1 with the Samira.
He
So
was hero mode through those fights, despite that whole
Pretty
time being
amazing.
designed to hard counter him. And like he was obviously his
I
team
mean-
was designed to support him.
Yeah.
That's true, but he played his spacing really well.
yeah.
Whenever he went in, it was almost
There-
always a good idea. Go ahead.
There is one cool interaction with Samira that only works on people who are really good and have a very fast reaction time which is I don't think Tactical did, but if you ever see it, it's actually really impressive. Is if Samira's ulting and you Captain Jack QSS or cleanse, it doesn't
Yeah.
cancel the ultimate.
Oh.
Well, that's broken. What the
That's
hell?
broken. Is there any other channel spell in the game that has that kind of? No, as far as I know, there's no other spell.
Is that
does
a bug,
Maybe
or
this
is
has
that
been
just
changed.
meant to? Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember doing it in an Earth game. To be fair, it was a while ago, so it could have been patched.
Hmm.
But
I mean,
That
if
is-
not,
that
it
is-
will be
that is
now.
something
You
to
just
look
told them. You just told
No.
them
I mean,
right.
what it means is that
Riot's
Samira
watching.
is probably programmed in a way that it does like a check, and
Yeah.
if it's still like not being interrupted during the check, then it's fine. So if you cleanse immediately on the frame that you get CC, then the check probably goes through most of the
Yeah.
time,
That's
which is
interesting.
weird.
I mean-
but I don't know another character that has that. To be fair,
It'll
no one
pro-
really clicks QSS
if it's
when
still
they're
there-
generally ult.
no, sorry. If it's still there, it'll probably get removed because Riot doesn't like skill-based interactions. It seems so.
XD. Yeah, I think I think, see, the Samira, right? You said Udyr, Leona, TF,
Yeah.
right? There's even an Aurelia with a stun too.
Yeah.
It really felt like to me, Team Liquid is not playing. They have worse drafts in some of these games.
Yeah.
They really legitimately just have worse drafts, but they're better than their opponents. I think Team Liquid is just straight up better than
They
C9.
are really good. I mean, if
Yeah.
you just break down each lane, Alfari, Jensen obviously is still pretty good, even though he hasn't been like
Jensen looked
superstar.
way better than
Yeah,
Perks
way
in
better.
the series.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Tactical Core JJ is arguably one of the best bot lanes. So you're right. They could just have kind of mediocre drafts and still win just out of sheer skill. But let's talk
I
about.
felt like that a lot of the series, especially like I don't know. Even like when I look at game 2 also with the Blitzcrank and the Gnar, like
Oh,
I
yeah.
kind of didn't like it. Of course, I think the LeBlanc was kind of bad too for C9, but I don't know, man. Like Azir in this meta, it doesn't feel like it should be working.
Yeah.
But I think C9 TL is just so much better that I have 0 lane prio mid lane, but we're just better. So
Yeah, I don't really like the Azir pick as well, but again, it might be a comfort pick, might be one of those things where they just think that it'll still scale and they can win that
He
way.
was pretty high. He was like up 20 or something in lane against LeBlanc. And
He
I was
was.
like,
He was.
I don't know why you're up that much CS right now. I mean, partially it's because you had Udyr Prio, but
It's true.
he's winning
Liquid-
trades too against LeBlanc. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, to Mitchell's point, Liquid was definitely the better team. Like in not just like their lane by lane, which like oftentimes there are teams on paper who are lane by lane better. Like EG lane by lane better is a lot of teams,
Mhm.
but they play pretty good like with each other. Like there's actually like some semblance of like wow, like if they're overextending, you're like okay. This it looks more like a limit test and less of a like that. They thought that was legitimately the only play they should have been doing there.
Yeah.
Their game 3 draft was one of the worst drafts I've ever seen. I watched that draft with my friends. We were just watching together, and I was
Yeah.
like, "This is garbage. Like
Yep.
this GP is about to get smashed blind pick." And then they pick Malphite. I'm like, "Yeah, no, there's literally no way he wins this matchup." And the
Mhm.
Aphelios was like, "This is so disrespectful. There's no way Aphelios can win this game." And then they
Yep.
lost, even though
Yep.
they had a 2K or 3K lead in laning phase. Like it
Mhm.
just got absolutely eviscerated at Dragon or at mid lane, and then they lost Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
so-
Syndra too didn't felt good. Yeah, I wasn't
No.
about the Syndra.
No.
Good
I
lane
did
matchup
wanna
into
touch-
Zoe, but
Yeah, he just didn't do anything after.
not enough damage.
I will.
Yeah.
I will say that Fudge has upside, and like you saw his playmaking ability on Malphite, and even the game 4 Aurelia. Like the guy does have chops around him. He's like 18 or whatever. Like he has some mechanical ability and ability to see things in fights and make stuff happen, even if it looks like an in play.
Mhm.
That's something you want in a top laner. Someone's willing to go in and make a big play. The biggest issue is two things. He is a rookie in LCS. He played in OPL or whatever before,
Yeah.
but like he's 18, so he hasn't played that much pro in general. He has played with C9 Academy, but that's different from stage. My biggest problem with him is two things. If you're going to be like an all-time great player, a lot of the all-time greats, they did get better, but when they debuted, like 15, 16 Uzi or Licorice when he debuted, like they were already really good. They just
Really
got
good.
better as they got more experience. This was kind of like he has a very glaring flaw. He has upside, but the biggest problem for C9 is he's going to be a draft liability. Like outside of his mechanical ability, like you can't just like flex him to last pick, flex him to first pick, just like pick whatever you want him and think he'll be able to survive. The second, like it was like, you know what, we'll just camp his lane. He got absolutely smashed. Like Alfari looked like he was like smurfing on him.
Do you
through game
think?
5, and
Do you
also
think he
games 1
could?
and 2.
Do you think he might end up being like a Demonte type? I mean, I'm sorry, not Demonte, a Golden Glue type player where, no hate on Golden Glue, but Golden Glue's a solid player. He was never gonna be a, and he was never gonna be a top tier mid laner. And people always said he's got upside, or he's a scrim god, or whatever. But every time he's come in, he showed little glimpses here and there, but you were never fully convinced. And everybody kept saying, oh, there's upside to him, a lot of upside, but just never really matured into a top tier, top caliber mid laner. Do you think Fudge maybe in this category? Is it still too early to tell? I mean, he is the youngest player, but again, like you said, we've seen young players come in, and although they were rookies, still were pretty good, despite being young and new to the game or new to the league.
I think it's way too soon to say that because Golden Glue was like 4 or 5 years in before we started memeing that. I think he's more along the vein of a what is a really iconic version of that in NA? It's kind of like he has the upside of like Soul or someone like that, but he doesn't have the stability yet. And honestly, I don't know if C9 is going to be able to figure it out with him in time. I think they literally used the finals to experiment with him. Like, you never trust your worst player on Aurelia on game 5 unless you're trying to experiment. To me, like, that should have been a Malphite pick or something just to smash the GP again or smash whatever option comes out. But I think they're giving him a lot of faith. He must show something in their scrims, and it looked like he had the killer instinct, which I don't think Golden Glue ever had. That's Golden Glue's biggest problem.
Yeah,
it wasn't that he couldn't lane, but Golden Glue, like, you very rarely saw a game-winning play from Golden Glue. Like, he could be 5-0, and you're like, okay.
So I want to talk about the game 5 Aurelia versus GP, right? That seemed like it was really the tipping point for that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Aurelia matchup versus GP. GP gets a lot of poke, but Aurelia gets the all-in, right? So we saw level 1, Alfari, he sits in the bush, and he goes to trade onto the GP. GP is sitting in the bush, and he goes to trade on the Aurelia. And then the Aurelia, he 3Qs the melee minions to get her passive stack, and then she tries to all in the GP. That's how you're supposed to play the matchup, actually, right? You get poked down, and then you go even, and then GP gets some Qs in the background, right? Get on the back trade.
Yeah.
But then the wave is pushing into Aurelia, so that when you hit level 2, you all in the GP when the caster minions behind there are low.
Yep.
He just barely messed that trade up
because
he took one extra Q on the end because his spacing was really bad. Like, I watched this like so many times to be like, yeah, literally, like, his step forward just slightly messed it up.
Yeah.
So he had way less HP, and yeah, that was bad, right? But he didn't lose the lane off of that. How he lost the lane was on the bounce back when the wave was coming back to GP. Udyr was there, and Blabber was nowhere to be found. That was actually the problem. It wasn't necessary, like, because that wave is crashing into GP no matter what happens, right?
Yeah.
That's actually Blabber's fault.
That's Blabber's fault. Yeah, he should.
That's actually Blabber's fault.
Yeah.
So
Blabber screwed up game 1 too. Like, let's not forget, he literally powered into double buffs back into a Jax who just TP'd in his face and walked up and killed him. Like, that was so disgusting. And that was another game where, Fudge looked terrible. And I was like, dude, Blabber is actually. I'm watching as a jungle man, I'm like, what is the jungler doing? Yeah. There was some really sublime jungle pathing in game 3.
Oh yeah, he had some good pathing.
Took every camp,
all the camps.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, that was big brain.
That was really good.
Blabber and him have no synergy, so it's really hard to judge him as a player because top lane is also jungle diff.
True.
Yeah.
But do you think Fudge could be at that point? Like, yes, jungler should have known, but do you think Fudge failed in communicating, saying, hey, look, my wave is bouncing. I need you to be up here? Or is it a matter of, like, him just not even thinking to call Blabber, or him thinking that, I'm since he's the youngest, kind of newest to the team, maybe he doesn't feel like he has the right to call jungle
He definitely knew. He definitely knew. Yeah, pro player at any top lane main at that level, like, I don't even care if you're D3 or something like that. You should know.
Should know.
Or even plat.
I need to crash this wave, or I lose the game, right?
And that's what I
mean.
You
can sense it from thousands of games of getting your butt pounded if that happens, right?
Well, see, that's what I mean. Know. Like, is it who? I want to know, like, where the breakdown, like, whose fault in the breakdown of the communication is. We don't know. It could be Blabber should have known, but also did Fudge say anything? I don't know.
It's a little bit on. It's definitely on Fudge. Fudge should be yelling at his team, "I need to crash this wave, or the game's over."
Yeah,
but it should be coaching, and it should be Blabber.
Sure.
Right? Fudge is the rookie against the veteran. Fudge is in the volatile matchup. It should 100% be the coaching who's like, before game, we know this is going to happen, right? We know how the level 1 goes. You're queuing the wave, and you're all ending the GP level 1. It's going to push into you and then crash backwards. That's going to happen no matter what, because that's how they practiced. It's on the coaching, and it's on Blabber. But I think it's mostly coaching.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good. I mean, that was interesting because you're right. Like, I remember that specific point in the beginning of that game, and it was definitely a make or break point there. So, good point to highlight that. One last question before we move on is that who was the worst player on C9? Was it Fudge or was it Perkz? we gotta put Perks in there because he's the $12 million man. Every time, if they don't win, I'm always gonna be saying who was the worst player. Because Blabber and the bot lane, they're safe. It's always gonna be was it Perks or Fudge? So what are your thoughts? I need to know here.
It's Fudge because Perks actually solo won a game. Game 4, Core JJ almost old C9 would have lost to Core JJ in 7 out of 10 scenarios in Game 4. And Perks' TP play and his ability to decide this is just where we should win from. He played quite well in that game. He played quite well in probably 2 to 3 of these matches. I think Fudge played quite well in 1.5. So in my mind, while I expect more from Perks, so if you see relative to their 8, who's the worst player? Yeah, okay. But worst player, they were actually funneling extreme draft resources into top lane.
Mm-hmm.
They were we need to warp our draft vision around this pick because if we don't, we're just gonna bleed out. That's awful. If you're ever a coach and you're drafting like that, that's a huge liability. And it's not his fault. He's a rookie, and they just didn't give him the resources to succeed. Right. When Blabber actually properly was top or using his Olaf prio, yeah, they were winning. But when he wasn't, it was so bad. And that's partial. It's Fudge's fault for not calling, and it's Blabber's fault for not going. So Fudge is the biggest liability, though. There are top laners like Impact who, in that situation, would have been a lot more useful, and he would take a lot less draft resources.
Yeah.
At least old Impact. I don't know about this year, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Impact.
All right.
Well, I'm going with Perks. Perks is the worst player. I do think I'm taking it from a different perspective. Perks is supposed to be better than Jensen, and Fudge is clearly supposed to be worse than Alfari.
Yeah.
Yes, the draft resources is a big point to say Fudge is worse, and it's kind of close. I'm kind of could go either way in my head. But Perks is supposed to be the guy, right?
Yeah.
He's been shitting on Jensen his whole career, man. And what happened this tournament? He's losing lane in a winning matchup. LeBlanc versus Azir was miserable to watch. I think it's Perks. Also, when I look at wave management and Perks did have some good defensive TPs. Perks also just has the worst lane matchups. I feel like there are times where there's nothing on the map. There's no Rift Herald. There's no Dragon. Perks is just ping-ponging waves over and over again, repeatedly. I shove wave. I hide. I sit around, do nothing. I shove a wave again. Fudge is actually freezing. And that to me just makes me feel it was very small, right? But Fudge would just lose lane so hard to Alfari and then get himself back into the game just because he's smarter.
Yeah.
Where Perks just would stay the same the entire time as Jensen. You wouldn't build a CS lead at all. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's small, right? But that ticks me off.
Yeah.
I'm the veteran should not be doing that. The veteran should not be ping-ponging waves when there's no resources to take on the map, when there's no objective.
Yeah,
that's not a small thing. That's a lot of golden experience.
Yeah, it's a lot of golden experience. Yeah,
it is.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And I was like, Fudge, you're the weaker player against Alfari. You're doing everything you possibly can to get yourself back in the game, and I'm really proud of you, buddy. I was impressed.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
I will say there's a common trend here though. A lot of those games, I vividly remember Santorin just coming on Graves or something, getting a kill on mid, or Santorin just hovering and being first to a play, or not first to. He was just oftentimes giving good wave state situations. If you need to clear and bounce, he was there. And Blabber was there probably 7 out of 10 of the times that Santorin was there. So it felt like there were a lot of pivotal plays where Santorin already gelled really quickly with his mid laner. I don't know if Perks is a better laner than Jensen. Perks was never really the lane kingdom guy either. He was good, but he only popped up once in a while when Jankos gave him a first blood or something.
Yeah.
In my mind. So I don't know if it's Perks alone, but as far as the eye test, it does seem to be that Perks just can't manage his waves anymore, which is strange. So
yeah, it
could be Blabber's fault, but I do agree with Mitch. It's still more on Perks right now because he's one of the most veteran. Weirdly enough, he's one of the most veteran players on the whole. Is he the most veteran player on the whole squad, or is Sven the most?
Sven and Perks started at the same time on the same team.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, not the same team, but Sven was on OG.
G2, Gamers
when
2,
Perks
and then Zen was on OG, and they
Yeah.
started at the same time.
at
Okay,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. They
So
both debuted in Pro in the same time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
also Santorin, he came from a team that plays very similarly to Team Liquid. FlyQuest was always like considered like TL light, remember?
Yeah.
Strong
Yeah.
solo laners, stable bot, supportive jungler, right? So yeah, I mean, I
Kinda
feel like
fits in.
Santorin just meshes in so
Yeah,
well.
where he just
He's
fit
always
right
been
in. Yeah.
He's always been Power People's bitch, right? Yeah, I'll cover your wave. Yeah, I'll hold here. Oh, you're shoving? Okay, I'll stand here.
Yeah.
I don't need to take scuttle. I'll just stand here.
Yeah.
Like that's Santorin.
And now
So
he's got an aggro top and a solo killing bot lane or dual killing bot lane. Like
Mhm.
it's the dream, man. I think he's probably happy as hell, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, good for him,
But
man. He
both of
deserves
them
it.
have fit in really quick. Like they fit in well, and they fit in pretty quickly. So I mean, it's really good to see. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys are right. Like with the expectations again, being that Perks is supposed to be a really X factor. We don't see it for sure, but I'm wondering if we're gonna see it this season. It's hard to tell
Game
because
4, man.
yeah, like I have not
That's-
seen any, how we talk about there's upside with Fudge. Like we see there's upside here, but Perks is someone that we know how good he can be, and we're not really seeing it. And there's a lot of things we can attribute to it. Maybe he just got with the team. Maybe not the meta. But there comes a point where okay, well, part of you being such a great player is that you have to be able to adapt, right? And so I don't want to keep making, I don't want to say excuses, but at some point he really does need to prove something and let us see why he's worth the 12 million, if anything, like
Yep.
making plays, and we're just not seeing that anywhere yet. So I will be interested to see, and that's always going to be a talking point because he got paid so much money, because he is how he is, and he talks all that trash. All right, well then let me see it. I want to see it, but we're not seeing it yet. So I think at this point he's definitely not living up to the paycheck. All right.
one last thing I wanted to add about Perks.
Okay.
He also had a lot of time to gel in. This is 15 games already. Like, sure, they
had a
condensed
lot.
amongst
Mhm.
3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah,
But 15 games out of regularly, we only play 18 games in a regular season.
that's true.
If he's on game 15 and he's only shown maybe one super game-winning play, which was game 4 of that best of 5, like he's not getting a lot of value out
Yeah,
of him.
that's not-
That's
yeah.
like they've been together as a team at least. Like they didn't have visa issues going in, so like. It's
Oh.
kind of concerning that after 15 games he's not showing up yet. Like when do you warm up? When do you heat up? So we'll see when the games actually count for the record. If he's still playing like this, then it gets really bad. And if it gets to playoffs and he still hasn't shown up yet, then I have no hope.
It's
Like,
doomed. It's
Playoffs
doomed.
Perks is I mean, we've definitely seen G2 go 0-4 before in regular season, like
Yep.
full power G2. So like, but he hasn't looked that bad individually during 0-4 G2. So I'm a little concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm concerned. I don't know. I'm so surprised that I came out feeling better about Fudge than Perks after this weekend. Like,
Yeah, you
that's,
never thought
that's
you
just
never
an
thought that
issue,
was gonna
man.
happen, right?
No, zero. I thought, like, when I was making my predictions last week, I was like, the reason why C9 is going to beat 100 Thieves is because they're going to take away the Galio and TF, and Perks is going to, like, mid-gap him.
Mid-gap,
That
yeah.
didn't happen at all.
not really, no.
That didn't happen at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. Well, that Team Liquid is the winning team for the tournament. Honestly, I don't think it's too much of a surprise. I know we kind of inserted C9 possibly there, but realistically, Team Liquid has more, I think, synergy. They've just had a lot of really good talent coming in.
Better coaching.
Yeah, better coaching.
Way better coaching. Worse drafts,
Worse
but
drafts,
better,
but better
like,
coaching. Yeah.
so much better cohesion. I feel like they're all on the same call every single moment of the game. C9 is so split. Blabber wants to do one thing, Perks wants to do another, Vulcan wants to do a third thing. Like, it's so split. Yeah.
True. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on then to this coming week. This is the first official week of the split. or I shouldn't even say split, just the season. But before that, let's recap how it went last week. And like I said earlier, Mitchell, you were the prediction god this past week. So 100 Thieves versus C9, you were the only one to predict C9 to win, so you get a point for that.
In the whole world.
In the whole,
Thank you.
yeah, probably. Who even knows?
Yeah, including 100 Thieves.
Yeah,
themselves.
including
Like,
100
we
Thieves,
can't
yeah,
win this.
So you got a point there. Team Liquid versus EG. So we all got points there. But Alistair predicted the series, the games right. So you got an extra point.
Well done.
Yeah. And then in finals, obviously, since you were the only one, Mitchell, that predicted C9 to go in, you win that. And you got the games right, too. 3-2.
I did.
So you got
3-2.
2 points. So all in all, the final score was 2 points for Alistair. Mitchell, you got 4 points. And then me and Kevin and the coin got 1 point. That got it, Kevin. We have the same brain power as the coin. That sucks.
Hey,
but you know what? Who cares?
I'd love to be currency, you know?
Exactly.
It's
That's
a lot of
right.
power.
Exactly.
What, passed around like cheap poker?
Oh,
Ooh,
God.
you're also Canadian currency too. Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
Just a basic
Was it? Did
toonie.
you use? Is it a
toonie.
toonie? Okay, it's a toonie.
It's a
Okay.
toonie.
It's a
I wasn't
toonie.
sure what coin you used
All right.
last time.
Yeah, no, I use a toonie.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right,
Rip.
guys. Let's move on then to predictions for this Friday, February 5th. First up is TSM versus FlyQuest. Did we say the battle for fourth here?
Maybe
Yeah,
lower.
That's what you guys were
Maybe
saying.
lower.
Maybe lower.
Maybe lower.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
It depends
Did we
where EG goes, but
Yeah, it depends where EG. I
Yeah.
think EG is looking like a nice fourth or third, honestly. EG versus 100 Thieves is also happening this weekend, so that will tell us a
That's
lot.
gonna be pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
That's gonna be good. Nice battle for third.
You know who I'm going.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really.
You're going FlyQuest, right? Yeah. Okay,
must
good.
be
That's what I
You
thought.
must get out of here. You know I'm going for TSM, man. As much as I rag on them all the time, I have faith. Honestly, I
You have
actually do
faith.
think.
so can we flash back?
No. We're no flashing back. They're gonna win this. Week.
Can we
TSM
flash back to last year
fans
when he
have
said
very
he
short
wasn't a TSM
memories.
fan anymore?
Oh.
Can we flash
He's like,
back to that
I'm done with Reggie. I'm done with this team. I'm never gonna
06.
trust him again. A couple
You know-
months later.
You know what they need to fix? They really just need to put me behind their like GM. Like, let me be GM. And I will turn that team around. Tell you what, man.
You know,
I
that
may
sounds
be
like
in
the-
silver,
TSM is
but
a really good
trust
team. They
me,
just
I'm
have to
almost
work
gold.
on.
Hey, I'm almost gold now. So hey, look, things aren't
Graves
coming
abuser.
up. All right,
Yeah,
Graves
Graves
abuser.
abuser.
Okay, so I'm going TSM. What are you guys going?
I think I actually.
You guys
am
want to
going
say TSM? See,
I think I do.
that's what I was trying to say. I was like, as biased as I am, I actually think that they are better at this point right now than I think FlyQuest. That's just, I mean, just for
I think-
sheer like that they've had more games probably to practice.
I mean,
That's
the
it.
problem is that both teams were just like so uncoordinated, right?
Yes.
With more time, and they should be better.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it to TSM. They have
Okay.
better players, more
Yep.
time. Yeah, there's not a lot of analysis here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be surprised if FlyQuest wins. 0%. Not gonna be surprised at all, though.
And this is like TSM like 55-45 to me. Like I
Yeah,
think
it's
that
like
they're-
51-49 for me. But
Okay, yeah, close, close, pretty much, almost a coin flip, basically.
It is. It really is.
All right, what do you guys say, Kevin, Alistair, coin?
All right, well, coin is TSM.
Hey,
Smart
let's go.
coin, smart coin.
I usually have a good idea of what I want to pick way earlier, but this one's really rough. I think
This one's
it's
hard because
TSM
both
for
teams have
me.
inting top laners. Both teams have really good junglers. Mid is TSM favored, though I don't think it's actually that big. I don't know. I just feel like Palafox isn't going to run it into PoE.
It's also not
I think
PoE's
Johnson's
meta.
probably better than Lost, but I think Sword Art's a lot better than Diamond. So
Yeah.
Diamond was like the second to last picked person in fantasy when I was watching the Diamond. Was it? They had like a 10-person fantasy draft, and Diamond was second to last. That's horrific. To be fair, supports are always way lower in fantasy just because of the role.
Not
of
Core
how-
JJ.
I'm first picking Core JJ, man. Hell no.
I mean, Core JJ.
I
I mean,
first- I
besides
first
Core
picked
JJ, but
Core
the,
JJ.
Yeah.
the man is built differently.
That's right.
Anyways, I'm picking TSM. I actually think that it's a coin. It's a 60-40.
is. I think most
the
of us
40
are
is
saying
mostly
that.
on Jose Diego's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
Jose
Johnson
Diodo.
Diamond could
Look,
become
even
a bot.
I'm saying it's TSM, but kind of a coin flip win.
Yeah,
there.
it's a coin flip. That's for
It's
sure.
a way to coin. I think TSM is
Way
still
to
the
coin.
favorites for this. It's just that they just look so unstable that if they lose, we won't be surprised.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
All right,
All right, what do
Alistair,
you think,
who are you
Alistair?
going? He's gonna go
Dude,
with
wait, I know what
TSM.
you want to do. I know what you want to
Is
do.
this
I know
gonna
where
be
your
a
heart
frustrating
is.
4-vote TSM in a match that's somewhat close?
No, his heart is where FlyQuest is. I know it. I can see into his
Yeah,
soul.
I think so too.
See, I think there's two outcomes. I think FlyQuest. If
Oh,
okay,
is there?
okay, well,
There
obviously.
are two.
Obviously. What I mean, okay, what I mean is if FlyQuest just pick if Johnson just gives up and plays Seraphine again and Jose Diodo out jungle Spica, I think FlyQuest wins. But I think in just a standard 5v5 game, I think TSM wins.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen?
So what do you
'Cause
think
I
is gonna
agree with
happen?
you, but
This is
Yeah,
a best of
that's what I'm
one.
trying to figure out here.
This is a best of
I'm
one,
trying to
bro.
buy myself time. Trying to. I'll make you happy and I'll say TSM. How about
All
that?
right, my
Hey.
man. He's come
The
to
man
his
is
I'm not even
senses,
happy
scared.
about
everybody.
green.
He has come to his. I just want to let y'all know that that's the longest time it's taken any of y'all for us to come to all consensus TSM pick. Goodness gracious.
I
don't
can't
know if
wait
we've
to
ever
watch
consensus
FlyQuest
on
win
a
now.
TSM.
Yeah, me too,
Yeah,
honestly.
we're all going to be cheering for us to lose
FlyQuest's
a
gonna
point.
win and we're gonna tilt.
Other
Okay,
than- other
the
than
next
the
one
chat-
should be
in the
easy
chat.
because it's Team Liquid versus Immortals. Okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
don't-
alright.
Like, even if Immortals gets
Okay,
their
we
full
don't need to
roster,
spend much
We don't
time
need
on
to
that.
spend
Yeah,
much
let's
time
go
on
Team
that.
Liquid.
Alphare's going to be like, Xerxes, I got the better part of this
Alright.
divorce.
Coin's also TL.
All right,
Yeah,
coin is
smart
smart.
coin.
All right, now here's the interesting.
Smart coin.
Next one is interesting. EG versus 100 Thieves, which you mentioned.
This is a
Oh.
hard
This
one.
is a good one.
I've been thinking about this one for a while
I already know
now.
who I'm picking, but I'll let y'all pick.
I'll go first then. I'm picking the 100 Thieves. I think their upside's a lot bigger as long as Sunday starts gelling more and more. And they almost beat C9, who we think is the second best team. Probably.
That's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
most people would think they're second or first
Yeah,
when they turn on.
and EG
so
got
they're second now.
stomped by Team Liquid.
EG didn't. They didn't show as much. But I mean, TL is also just the type of team to stop a worse team. So
True.
I still think it's 100 Thieves, but it's the best of one. It's still 100 Thieves in my mind. I'll just end it at that.
It's so hard. Oh man, 100 Thieves is really, really, really good. Maybe one of the best teams. Okay, definitely better than C9 when they're playing Galio TF for Demonte. When they're not playing Galio TF on Demonte, I'm gonna keep harping on this. They're not very good. They're middle of the pack at best.
I think his rise wasn't amazing, but I think as long as they can get him a roaming mid laner that can shove and roam, I think he'll be okay. That's my thought behind it.
He'll be okay, but like it'll be because he roams, not because he's
Yes,
good at Rise.
that's
His
what I
mechanics
mean.
on Rise are
Yeah.
so booty. He cannot
He'll
combo
get
for
by
his
though.
life.
He'll get by.
Yeah,
I
but did you
don't
see
expect him to-
Jizuke? Did you see Jizuke
Oh, boy.
run past the turrets and die to Jetson? That was the
Yeah.
most booty Rise play I've seen in a while. I've seen
Okay,
that in
but-
my games.
They were surrounded. Okay, if you look at the minimap, they had nowhere to go. If they go down, they die
They
anyways.
decided to go the only reason they were surrounded is because they kept running after
Yeah,
Jetson.
Yeah, I
It
know,
was a
but
good trade. They got a free core JJ kill. They could have backed off. And then he's like, my Rise brightness.
yeah,
off.
yeah, that was bad. That was clearly bad. But at least he can combo on Rise, right?
Okay, that's fair. When his brain connects, it does
Combo
do
and
damage.
rise.
That's
QW.
Yeah,
spam
I mean, he
buttons.
gets the he oh god, it's like Demonte is the guy where he flash EWQs and he's like, I'm insane. and then Jizuke is like, okay, I'm gonna do all these crazy combos where I maximize my Q DPS.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I'm gonna go EG. I do
Oh.
think
I can't
I
believe it.
think I'm banking on it's just like the TSM versus FlyQuest, right? I'm banking on that EG is gonna make sure Demonte doesn't get Galio or TF, and then they win. Yep,
Okay.
that's my bet. that was my bet for semifinals
And
too.
I think they might do that. I just think that they can still win. Not him particularly, but I think they could still win with a Rise, even though he won't be like the one making amazing.
All right,
plays
they
on it.
banned TF and Galio, and EG takes away Rise, and
Okay.
Jizuke is better on Rise.
Then he plays.
What now, League Dad?
Then he plays
What
Echo.
now?
He plays Echo.
Yikes!
Shoves in rooms. I don't know.
Yikes!
Echo.
Echo
I
the
don't
Rise?
think. Nah, I don't think Echo mid. Okay, so me and I'm picking 100 Thieves. Mitchell's picking
Okay.
EG. What are you guys going? Alistair, Kevin.
I would
I'm-
these.
I'm with
I
Mitchell,
opened
actually.
this argument.
Go!
What'd you say?
I'm actually with Mitchell on this one. And while I'm still on the
Oh,
100
this
Thieves
is it.
train, I think just stylistically, EG is going to win.
Okay.
No, Impact's gonna hold his own against Someday. Mid's gonna win. Bot's
That's fair.
gonna. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, Bot.
I think
guys
if
are-
Bot
I think
doesn't,
Huhi is a
if Bot
better
doesn't
bot
run
than
it,
the
I think
Johnson
EG
Diamond.
wins, and I think they can just. I think definitely Ignar is smart enough to not die 5 times.
Sorry,
in the lane.
definitely ignore. What was I saying?
Yeah. Also, Ignar and Huhi feel like very similar players. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
they both are just like
Yeah, I can see
perma-roam
that.
type of players.
That's true.
So
Okay. All right. What's the coin say?
Coin was 100 Thieves.
oh, Coin is a
Coin
dumb
Coin
dumb.
is smart. No.
No,
he's smart. Yeah.
Coin's stupid.
All
Coin's
right,
been right all 3 times now. TSM
Well, that's not a good sign, guys. That's not a
Well,
good sign.
me
What
and
if we
Kevin
just
did
all
tie
wrong?
with the coin last week, so I guess we have
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
we have the
Hive
same.
mind.
We have the same
Yeah.
We're
brain.
holding, man. Diamond
Jeez.
hands.
Okay. All right. Next one should be easy. Cloud9 versus Golden Guardians.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cloud9. I think they've proven themselves that they're consistent enough. I do think Golden Guardians can 100% get like a 2 or 3k gold lead in the beginning of the game and get 2 drags and just like maybe just snowball and not throw. But I expect them to throw. So
Yeah.
I'm going to C9.
Okay.
I also think the same thing
Alright,
is with
so
FlyQuest and
Coin
TSM
is
too.
GG.
Point is GG. Okay. Alistair, are you C9 too?
Yeah.
Okay. CLG.
Yeah,
versus-
I'll go C9.
Okay.
But the
Okay.
one thing I do want to say about Golden Guardians before we go on is I do think Golden Guardians is going to be the team that just randomly takes games off top teams.
Yeah.
I
and
definitely
we'll
think
never
they're just
know,
going to
and we'll
randomly
hate them
take
for
games out of nowhere
Yeah.
for no reason.
Yep.
It's going to happen at some point. We're just going to have to hope we predict it right.
I don't
Yep.
think tomorrow's the day. I mean, Friday's the day. We'll see.
I don't think so.
No,
either.
I don't either. But
It's
I
a little
think
too
once we
early
get
for
more,
that.
more into the season, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
more.
I
Okay.
think it's gonna be Team Liquid. I think it's gonna be week 5, some random Team Liquid versus Golden Guardians game. Golden Guardians is gonna have an immaculate plan. Tactical and Core JJ, they're just gonna ego Samira Rel, and they're gonna get like 4-man dove like 3 times on repeat or something.
Or
Wow.
they're gonna pick GP blind again and get absolutely stonewalled against some weird.
Golden
thing
Guardians is
happen.
randomly going to pick Cog Lulu.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Just
Some
smash
shit
him.
like that.
Some-
I mean, I can see it.
Lucian
Liquid
top.
would be the team to experiment.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
I
all
mean, you
for
can
it.
definitely tell Liquid's just trying to pick shit to like see what they can run or not. Because that game 3 draft in playoffs was hot
Bad.
garbage.
Also,
Hot
game
garbage.
4, Samira. He
Yeah.
played so well when he should have 0 opportunity to do anything in that game. 4 hard CC
Literally.
stuns in that game.
Skill checking that match point is, or not match point, the tournament point is very.
He's
weird
too
to me,
good.
but you know.
Tactical and Core JJ are just too good.
All right,
they're just
let's
way
move
better.
on. Forget about Team
Let's move
Liquid.
on.
They
Yeah,
suck. I'm just kidding. CLG.
Best NA team ever. The best NA team
See
ever.
ya. I'm tired of talking about Team Liquid. I want
So
TSM to be
insulting.
good. God dang it. I'm tired of that freaking
So
team.
insulting.
All right, CLG versus Dignitas.
This is a tough one
This
too.
is tough, but in a
Who cares?
bad way. I know. It's like, who freaking cares? I'm going to freaking just put, you know what? I'm going with my boomer team, CLG. What's up? I'm for the old guys.
Do we know if Finn and Brox are starting?
I think they're supposed
Oh,
to be.
yeah,
Yeah,
they should be.
I think they're supposed to be.
I'm going for
Let's
the
look it
boomer
up.
squad.
Let's do a
Boomer
quick Google
squad.
search. CLG Broxa.
If they show up, then I'm going CLG. If they don't, then it's Dardock. Sorry, Dignitas.
Trapped. That's funny. In EU, Omega Lol. That's what I just googled, by the way. It's probably not.
Trapped in
It's probably
EU.
not gonna work.
Oh, gosh. Well,
I respect that.
what's the coin say,
Uh,
Alistair, since the coin obviously doesn't think?
Coin is CLG.
All right, wow.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Interesting.
I am going. I don't know what I'm going. This is tough. Someone else go. Someone else
Did you
go.
find it?
So
Did you
I
find
found
it
that
yet?
Solo's contract expired
Oh, okay.
last week. So they have to have somebody there. And I assume
Nope.
if they allowed Solo's contract to expire, they should have Finn back, I hope. I'm just gonna go CLG out the basis of I think Finn Brock's our
Brock
point.
said just streamed from EUS literally today
Oh,
or
so he's
yesterday.
not
I mean.
gonna be there.
Yes.
I'm voting Dardock.
All right, I'm going Dig.
Who was their
I'm biting the
who was
bullet.
their
I'm going
sub?
Dig.
Who was their sub jungler? It was the guy who
Wiggly.
renamed Wiggly.
Wiggly.
Wiggly's rename. What's his
Griffin.
name now? NXI? Oh, Griffin.
Griffin.
Yeah.
Griffin.
Yeah, then I'm going Dardock. Dardock's
Dig,
team is way
okay.
better. Dardock's play was way better than Wiggly's, and that alone is going to make it really hard in this meta. Because it's still patch 11.2.
2.
It's
Yeah.
not the Udyr and
Not the
nerfs
nerf,
yet, so
not the
Dardock
nerfs
will
yet,
just
yeah.
mean a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going Team Dardock because they lost Solo too. This is an even weaker CLG than what we saw.
They have
in
Finn.
Blood.
They have Finn. They got Finn. No Brock.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's hard to tell. You know, he was on one of the best EU teams, but he was not the best player.
Who's
So I don't know
Dignitas'
what his
mid
skill
laner?
He was the worst player on the team.
Yeah, he
Soligo.
was the worst player.
Soligo?
Soligo.
Yep.
Soligo is
Soligo, Fake
decent.
God, Dardock.
Pretty hit or miss.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still going Dig.
All right, I'm going.
I
Dig.
mean, these
I'm
are-
going
this is-
Dig.
Switching.
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
Dig.
Sorry,
Josh.
Wiggly did not inspire
Son of
any
a-
confidence.
No,
He's
not
gonna
at
get
all.
jungle gap. It's
Yeah.
gonna hurt.
Honestly, from here, I'll give the viewers some perspective. I'm in the lead when it comes to predictions, right?
Yeah.
I think. So I
Yes,
just
you
need to go where
definitely are.
everybody else goes. If I predict where everybody else predicts, I just stay ahead. Because we all go 1-1
Oh,
or
that's
0-0.
true. You're right.
Yeah,
That's true, but all we have to do is make you predict first.
No, that's true.
We
yeah.
should make him predict first. And you can't change
Wait a minute,
it.
Mitchell predicting after us and
I
doing
know.
that.
Okay. All right, let's go to Saturday. FlyQuest versus Evil Geniuses. That's not bad.
This is going to be an interesting one. I do think it's going to be EG.
Yeah, I think it's EG here too.
EG.
I think it'll be pretty interesting though. Yeah, but I think EG is just going to skill gap them.
I think the most interesting narrative going to this you should look out for is Jose Diego better than Svenskeren? Because Svenskeren is like in the top 3, top 4 right now,
Yeah,
but we don't really know where Jose Diego lines up.
true. It'd be good to see. All right, Alistair and the coin. What are you guys going with?
Okay, coin is FlyQuest.
FlyQuest. Okay. And you are FlyQuest? You want to say FlyQuest?
I'll go
don't you?
EG again.
Okay.
Ooh, okay, we're all on the EG.
Next one
so
should-
I predicted
I am
first.
really hoping. Okay, I am going to hope that we see Ignar Pike. I think
Ooh,
Pike's really good in this meta.
Really?
Really? I haven't seen
Roaming
him at
support?
all.
Yeah.
Roaming support, again.
But
Hard
why
roaming
pick-
support. He can burst through the shields with his ult. Obviously, I mean, there's the
Yeah.
heals still, but I still
Yeah.
think Pike is worth playing it with it, and Ignar's really damn good at that champion. Plus Prowler's Claw, and that is way too good.
I could see Pike if Alistair isn't up, but if Alistair's up, I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
there's no reason to pick Pike.
Yeah.
Alistair's too good right now.
Yeah,
Tower diving. Yeah.
I mean, Alistair's
We'll see.
cheat.
I think we're gonna
Yeah.
see a Pike
That's
Seraphine
interesting.
bot lane or something.
Wow.
That'd
That's
be
That
wild.
sounds spicy.
nuts.
I've never seen
Wow.
that either, but if I see it, then-
Because Pike Seraphine works because when Pike hits the hook, when they get back to the ground, they're slowed, so instant root.
Ah, the root.
That's true.
Yes, true. And then it follows up
You,
on.
you can't move and
Pike's-
instantly die. It's
Yeah.
it's a crazy lane.
Yeah, it's like that's like a
Uh,
3-second CC chain probably with when you put in
Yeah.
Pike stun too. Yeah,
Yep.
a lot of
Fair
damage,
enough.
a lot of burst. Nah, I could see it.
Okay.
If only my support played Pike, but we can't do that, so rip.
I'll int it with
Hear that,
somebody.
Nate?
Who wants to int with me? I'll do
Join
that.
my team, play Pike. I'm just kidding. Please don't.
All right. I'll predict first on the next one. That way you guys go copy me. Team Liquid versus Dignitas. I picked Team Liquid.
Oh no, we all have to copy League Dad.
Hey, I'll
Uh-oh.
be copying my footsteps. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm going
yeah,
Team
Oh,
I mean, it's
everybody
gonna
going
be
Team Liquid?
I didn't
Oh,
even
okay.
hear the other
All
team's
right,
name,
that's
but I know
fine.
Team
Okay.
Liquid's gonna win it. So
Wow,
You
you're
heard it here
copying
first,
Raw.
guys. You heard it here first. Everybody trying to copy in the league, Dad. It's fine.
Yeah, coin's
Coin
a hive
contribute-
mind with League Dad, I guess.
See? Coin knows what's
So-
up. All right. CLG versus 100 Thieves. I'm saying 100 Thieves. Sorry, boomers. Boomer CLG.
100
Not happening.
Yeah, I'm going 100 Thieves.
Right?
It's just they don't have Broxa, they don't have stand a chance. You know, if they had Broxa, I would think about it, but I'm not even gonna think about it. It's 100 Thieves.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if they had Brox, I think I'd still pick 100 Thieves. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I would think about it. You know.
You would think about it. You wouldn't have answered as fast as you did.
Yeah,
Probably.
I'd be
Okay.
like, well, maybe Broxa could swing the jungle matchup
Yeah.
and look fine against closer,
and then
but no.
be like, no. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, baby.
Coin went TL for last
Oh.
game and 100 Thieves for this game.
And what
I
are you
forgot we
going,
gotta predict
Alistair?
these.
Mitchell's halfway through his
I know.
pop and he got cut off.
Alistair, who'd you
Yeah.
go for? Are you going 100 Thieves too?
Yeah.
Come
It's
on.
Wiggly. I'm never gonna. It's really hard to ever vote for Wiggly.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I feel bad for the guy, but like it's
I do too. Go play an amateur. Sorry, bud. Not good enough. That's a
sorry,
rough.
buddy.
That's a rough world. That's a hard world out there. I'm hard stuck plat.
Yeah.
Take
it's
the
a
cards you
rough
dealt with.
world. I'm almost.
All right,
Join
C9
with
versus
Chris, idiot.
TSM, baby.
C9 versus TSM. Come on now. TSM.
I'm never doing them
all
again.
the way, baby. TSM all the way.
You're actually voting TSM?
Hell yeah! Screw y'all. TSM's winning.
so is
Okay.
the coin apparently.
Wow.
This
Okay,
is
why-
this is where I'm gonna win. This is where I'm gonna win this week. Y'all
All right,
already
tell
know.
me why you think TSM's gonna win. Do you say no? you
TSM.
don't want to tell me why?
noise.
He already told you why. He said it when he did his prediction. TSM. That's also the reason why.
TSM. That's
Mitchell, remember all the things you say when you're playing Udyr in comms? That's what goes on in League Dad's head whenever he hears TSM. Slap.
Is that what? Is
Slap.
that, that's
I'm
all.
slapping this guy.
Yeah, that's it.
So Mitchell, I'm assuming you're not going TSM because you need an explanation.
Yeah.
you
No,
won't
I'm
even.
not
You
going
won't
TSM.
even. You won't, Mitchell. You won't even like convince me or lawyer your way to get me to vote for C9. Nope.
I don't need
TSM all
to.
the
They
way,
just
man.
played in the semifinals.
Going down.
They played in the
all this
semifinals,
time. All this time, TSM's working on secret strat.
and it wasn't even
Got-
close.
TSM got smacked by the team that lost to C9. I mean, it was a close game against C9, but TSM got smacked.
Mhm.
Yeah.
C9. I don't know if TSM.
I'll make sure to message you guys during that game or after the game when TSM
The-
wins.
I rewatched TSM versus C9, and I know Sword Art is a good player, but the support gap in that series was so unbelievably massive. If I was playing jungle or mid, I would have reported my support. I actually would have. It was so massive, dude. Like, when you look at roam timings for supports, because I've been looking at a lot of these, Vulcan is just there. He doesn't miss waves. He doesn't miss XP. He's actually ahead in XP, and he still gets to the play first. Every time. He gets to the Rift Herald first. He gets to mid lane first. He gets to the jungle first. And he shouldn't be, because Sword Art is in so many situations where he should have the roam timings because they have a better lane matchup, right? What was it? Jhin Thresh into Kai'Sa Alistar? Double ranged against a melee support? They should have the shove. They should have roam timings. Yet Vulcan is always there, and he's never behind an XP. It's C9, and it's not even close. Like, support gap is so massive, guys.
I mean, if there's gaps, I wouldn't say support massive. I think there's bigger gaps elsewhere on the roles.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, but it feels like it's support gap to me. I mean, where's the other gaps though? I guess ADC gap is pretty
Yeah,
big,
ADC
right?
gap.
Sven versus Lost, but I know Sword Art's supposed to be really, really good, and this is maybe a hot take, but it does feel like Vulcan is just miles better than Sword Art right now.
It's true. I mean, we've only
I don't
seen
know. I feel
about
like I agree
games
with
from-
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you in some circumstances, but at the same time, I feel like Vulcan is NA Hillisang. He's either doing really well or he's just running it.
Yep.
I feel like that it's kind of which Vulcan shows
I like
up.
that noise you made.
Yep.
And for that reason, I'm going with TSM. No.
Oh my God! Go beat us!
Son of a-
Come on, you're
Alistair.
scared.
You
You're
always,
scared. You wouldn't go
you always
TSM.
tease this old man. All right. What
You have
about
to-
you, Kevin? Are you C9ing it too? Are you following the herd C9?
It's not following the herd. It's following reason and
Whatever.
logic.
Who cares?
Pick
Pick the best team.
Sword
Fine.
Art is still a good player, but like as Coach just said, he thinks Vulcan's like in the top supports in the world, and Sword Art might also be in the top sports, just not as high. So I mean, Vulcan's good. I think he's quite good, way
Wow.
better than Zeyzal before him. So yeah, Vulcan's good. C9's good. They should win, and I think
Okay.
C9's going to win.
Fair enough.
Hot take. Vulcan's the best player on C9. I think he's better than Blabber by a mile. Blabber's kind of like
You guys know what
mediocre.
I feel about Blabber. It's between
Yeah.
him and Sven currently in terms of performance. Sven played really well in a lot of games. He had one
Yeah.
really bad play, and that's it. in this whole
Mechanically,
tournament.
yes, but Vulcan just hard wins bot lane for Sven. I feel like every laning
But
phase.
that's because he's a support. I mean, supports
Yeah.
always are the ones. If you're gonna hard win bot lane, it has to be from the support. The AD carry
Okay.
literally cannot.
Then
hard
how
win
can
bot
you
lane.
give Sven credit for that? You can't give Sven credit for that, right? You
No,
have
I'm
to
giving
give
him credit
you have
for
to give
winning the
Vulcan-
rest of the game by being very consistent and being a great positioner compared to
Yeah.
Lost or compared to his peers.
Mm-mm,
Other than
nope.
tactical,
I
like no
feel
one else
like
really
Sven
quite
has been
stacks
more
up.
consistent than Vulcan.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's been
And
some.
I value consistency.
'Cause I
He
haven't
is
seen
basically NA Hills.
many
I agree with
games.
that.
Yeah, because I haven't seen many games this split where I'm looking at Sven and it's like, wow, this guy's an idiot. What's he doing? He's just AFK. Like he's actually doing something.
He has-
But then
yeah.
you see Vulcan, he's like dying 7 times in a game
but
for like
he's
no reason.
He's in the position.
I
though.
know he's playing a front line,
Yeah, well,
but
he's
like there's
the
a lot
sole
of times where he just
frontliner
gets caught out for no reason.
because he's trying to look for a flank, for an engage. That's what we see Ignar do this. We see Huhi do this. It's because when you're the sole initiator and the big playmaker on your team, you're gonna get caught out in flanks sometimes because you have to find the clever positioning.
No, I
just think
agree
it's part
with
of the
you.
job.
What
Yeah.
I mean is like there are times where there's just no reason to get caught out and he just manages to. That's what I mean. I agree with you on that. If you're
Yeah.
the sole initiator, you're gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, there was that time where Sven flanked on Kaisa against Team
That
Liquid.
is true.
Yes,
That's
that,
why
that, was,
carries
that was
do
the
that
play
as
I was
well.
talking about. But
He's the
Vulcan does it a
initiator.
lot more often, man.
He's the
His-
initiator.
like the thing about super good supports is a lot of them have like very it moments, and then
Yeah.
because they're the one who are being asked to do those moments.
Yeah. Cordia
I mean,
Jane
yeah,
Sword Art
Vulcan
That's
too.
where Chris got that play from.
The flanking Kaisa.
He's learning from the greats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know who's the best yet, but we can have this discussion in a couple more games because
Yeah.
I haven't actually been focusing.
Yeah,
on bot lane
we've
until
seen
recently.
15 games max from
Mhm.
players. It's
Yeah.
it's way too early to determine who's best.
I mean, that's almost a regular
For the
season.
most part,
It's
right.
almost a split, man.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
lot
almost
of
a
games.
split.
It's just but
18
it's
games is a
condensed in
split.
one.
I guess
Yeah, but
I
it's
guess
condensed
you're
in
right.
one patch,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
condensed in 2 weeks.
It was
Fine,
one
we're
patch.
3 weeks into the split. How about that?
Sure.
3 weeks,
Yeah, we
that's
are.
true.
Technically,
Or
actually,
3 weeks
yeah.
into the season.
Yeah, season.
So-
yeah, no more splits. Season. There you go.
Season. I know.
Yeah.
Getting used to it. All right. Last game of that day is
Oh shit, there's more
GG
games.
versus Immortals. Golden Guardians versus Immortals.
I'm going Golden Guardians. I don't know. Is Xerxes back?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I picked Golden
I'm going
Guardians
Golden
too.
Guardians. Yeah.
This is one of those like I don't really care. I want to see them play, like just kind of to see if anybody stands out, but I'm not really.
Immortals played their entire academy roster in the
Yeah.
playoffs, so I have zero idea. So I'm just gonna go on Golden Guardians. It
Yeah,
actually looks decent.
I gotta go Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
Right? Kevin.
I'm going Golden Guardians, but the second the Immortals roster is actually here, I'm going to be voting them a lot more in these bottom matchups because that master is actually good. Like,
Agreed.
on
Yeah.
paper, it looks very good.
Xerxes
It's-
insane.
Who knows? They just keep on subbing and support or subs academy
Yeah.
players.
Yep.
Ugh.
All right.
So
what's the
annoying.
coin say?
So coin is Immortals,
Hey, let's go.
Okay.
Nice.
but honestly,
gonna
I
change
feel
your-
like I feel like Immortals and Golden Guardians honestly might be a more entertaining game than like C9 TSM or EG FlyQuest, just because there's going to be more throws and there's going to be more random things happening. If
More
if
deaths.
Cloud9 or TSM get a lead, chances are they close the game out
Yeah.
and the game ends at 25 minutes. We've seen that so many times. Like
I mean,
before,
Liquid got a
like,
lot
in
of
the
leads,
lock-in tournament.
almost didn't close the game out, and then closed the game out 2 minutes later. You're like, wow, they threw
No, I know.
5 kills. Oh, they won.
Actually, Team Liquid had a
Yeah.
lead in all 5 games, and they still lost 2 of them.
Yeah.
They had a 2K gold lead in, at least in all 5 games.
But the game time average, if you just look at the game time average, they have such an insane average time. It's like sub
Yep.
28 or 27. Like, it looks like they're stopping. Then you watch the game, you're like, they almost threw that
Mhm.
again. Only
Yeah.
C9 could catch
Yeah.
the throws. Though C9 was the only person to give a loss to Santorin. So
you can say it all you want, Alistair. I'm still falling asleep versus GG versus whatever. it was.
Yeah.
I don't care who wins. I just think
Yeah.
it'll be more. I think it could be more interesting.
So,
Yeah.
Gameplay wise.
Maybe.
Not
Okay.
I like to
mechanics,
watch
not-
players.
Let's,
It
move
it'll be
on.
funny. I'm gonna laugh
Yeah, it'll
for
be-
sure.
All right,
I'll
let's move
watch.
on. Let's move on to
Uh,
Sunday's games because that's too much time on Immortals and Gordon Guardians. I mean,
All right. Well, I mean, I think we can speed run this week pretty easily.
Yeah, I
okay.
think so too.
FlyQuest versus Team Liquid.
Team Liquid.
Team Liquid.
If it was old FlyQuest, I'd be going FlyQuest, but it's not old FlyQuest.
Yeah,
You would.
It's depressing
Are you
FlyQuest.
Team Liquid, Alistair?
It's sad quest.
Yeah. So is the coin.
All right, we're all Team Liquid. All right,
Okay.
EG Volks Golden Guardians.
Yep.
That one's pretty obvious too. Yeah.
EG. I'm
Golden
going
Guardians.
EG.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
EG.
Coin's Golden Guardians though.
Oh, Pog.
Last season though was the other way around. So
Okay.
True.
C9
EG.
Immortals. C9.
Yep.
Yeah,
C9.
Cloud, our coin is
Oh, you
also
all are
C9.
copying me again. I see.
I don't know what happened on
All right,
Sunday.
coin is CLG on this one.
Against TSM? What the?
Wow.
This
Yeah,
coin.
I'm going TSM. Yeah. I tried to. I almost convinced you guys to maybe predict CLG. Like, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks
You
ago?
did.
I almost got you guys.
You almost got.
Hey, that game was not
My
not
God.
as far apart as it should have been. Like
Yeah.
there was some competition. I'm like, why?
I mean, CLG,
yeah,
yeah,
TSM.
All right.
CLG is in there. It,
So
it's always interesting. That matchup is always at least somewhat
yeah.
interesting.
There's weirdly some spice in it, no matter
There
how
is,
bad
no matter
CLG
what.
is,
Yeah.
or
Like,
TSM is.
I swear to God, POB just decides I'm not going to be a
I'm
noob
not-
today,
yeah,
and
not
I'm gonna
today.
fucking try my best. And I'm gonna make
Against
TSM
TSM.
sweat.
Yep.
I hate
Oh
TSM
my
fans. I'm making them sweat. I'm gonna put on my dancing shoes. Yeah. Buzz TSM.
Kevin, Alistair, you guys TSM as well? All right.
Yeah.
All right, and then
TSM.
The last game is 100
They're playing
Thieves.
Wiggly. I can't safely vote
That's
for
true.
Wiggly.
Hey,
Or
Wiggly is
comfortably,
beating
I guess.
TSM. I said this 2 or 3 weeks ago. Wiggly has been on one of the few CLG rosters to consistently beat TSM. I think twice. Twice Wiggly's beat
That's
TSM.
true.
Yeah.
Regular season. So
The other one was like Smithy, so
Eh, well-
Missed that guy. I wonder what he's
I missed
doing.
him too. But
Okay.
Oof.
here we go with Wiggly, with Griffin.
All right.
Anyways,
100 Thieves
last
versus
game?
Dignitas.
Or
Yeah, it's gonna be 100
uh,
Thieves. It's
100
not gonna be
Thieves.
close. They're gonna poop on them.
It's looking like Sunday's games are probably going to be pretty.
I mean, the thing about the
No.
lock-in tournament, it helps you like see where the teams are at least in the first couple of weeks. So that's why it's a lot
I really
less
did enjoy
confusing
that.
than last year.
It's
I
also
really like this
LCS,
tournament.
guys. Whenever I swear to God, last year, whenever there was a weekend where like everything was super one-sided, that's when all the upsets happened.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, 100%.
Well,
Yeah,
that
you're right.
was just last year. Last year was when LCS finally got to like, hey, the bottom teams are actually doing
Yeah,
stuff.
doing.
Like
Yeah.
Golden Guardians isn't Garbo. 100
Yeah.
is still kind of bad, but like the bottom teams rose up last year. Like FlyQuest went from like fifth.
But I
sixth,
think
to
we got
third,
back
second,
again
second.
to where the bottom teams are kind of garbo. So
Yeah, they have all the rookies.
I mean, I do think this is probably the most competitive year of teams we're gonna
When those
have.
bottom teams get their full rosters, there's some actual like spice. Like when
Yeah.
Jose Dietto is
Yeah,
on
like,
like a
I-
ninth place team or whatever, that's scary.
true.
Yeah,
Or whatever
I
place
think
their team is gonna end up.
I'll say I don't think FlyQuest is gonna be as good as I thought they were.
Yep. too.
CLG, I don't know. I think CLG can randomly take games off people. I think Golden Guardians will do the same.
Yep.
Immortals are gonna do it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think we're gonna see
which
a
is
lot
good
of upsets.
though. We want to see some variance and see these teams pressuring the top teams because I mean the top teams are going to be pushing each other, but like I don't want to see throwaway games. So we'll see. But
I also think that there's more like we thought coming in that there's going to be the top teams are going to be much better than I think we expected them to, and the bottom teams are going to be much worse. So we're talking about how the bottom teams aren't as bad as we thought they were. I do think maybe it's just me that the top teams aren't as good as I thought they're going to be. Besides Team Liquid,
Yeah.
I do think C9, 100 Thieves, EG, TSM are a lot worse than I expected them to be.
it's so
I mean,
glaring
I didn't
flaws. That's the
think
biggest problem.
100 Thieves was gonna be amazing. I just thought that they were gonna do well in the lock-in tournament because they had pre-existing synergy.
Yep.
That was my thing with 100 Thieves. I think they're probably a 4th place
Yeah.
ish. I don't think they'll go to Worlds. I mean,
neither.
obviously it's early to tell. It's only February.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I don't know. I mean,
are you
Demonte's too
going
much of an
for
issue.
100 Thieves in this matchup, Alistair, against Dignitas?
yeah, I am.
Okay, what about the
So
coin?
is the coin.
Okay, everybody's 100
Uh,
Thieves.
I think Demonte is too much of a problem in the mid lane. It was their problem and why they didn't go to Worlds last year, and it's their problem and why they didn't make it to the finals this year.
I'm surprised they didn't pick up a good mid laner. They already were going to shut up for someday. I'm surprised they
They
didn't pick up
should
someone
have
a
gotten
little bit higher
Niski.
talent.
Niski is literally just better than Demonte.
Niski probably willingly chose to go to Fnatic over.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Yeah.
if he
If
got a
given the
choice, he
chance.
probably I
Yeah,
think he
yeah,
would go to
did.
Fnatic.
He did.
But yeah, good point.
But
All right,
you
well,
can go to Worlds on Fnatic, that's for sure.
that's
Yep.
true. It's a good point.
Maybe not this year, but
No,
We'll
they're going
see.
to Worlds this year.
They're going to
Fnatic.
Worlds.
Fnatic always
They're going
finds
to
a way to go
Worlds.
to
I don't
Worlds.
care. It happens every year.
Okay.
That's true. It's like the weather. It's like
They
the
look
sun
bad and then they go to Worlds.
Pretty much. All right.
Alrighty.
Is there anything else? So that's predictions. Got them all lined up. So we're ready to go. I'm ready to get this season on the way. After this tournament's got me hyped, and I'm really interested to see how things fare out. But do you guys have any last thoughts, comments, or anything about the game or this?
I mean, we could touch on the patch on
Oh, it's a
11.3.
massive
It's not going to be
patch.
played.
Yeah. So this
We should
patch.
probably touch on it. Let's touch on it the week before, like
It gets
when it's
played?
going to be the next,
Yeah.
the next
Okay.
pro patch.
So
Fair enough.
11.3, 11.3 is coming out
It's a big
in
patch.
game, but it won't be live on the games this week. So we'll talk about it next week when it will be live. But yeah, let's definitely start
It'll be
getting our
really
thoughts on
relevant.
that because it is huge. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's definitely going to change up the jungle meta for sure, and maybe some other stuff as well. But anything else, guys? You guys good? Good to go?
I would say that it's a nice double whammy for LCS this year that we had a really good lock-in tournament plus spring split counts, or
Heck
spring
yeah.
half of the full split
Yeah,
counts.
that's right.
It's so much better. This
Yeah.
is just such a better direction for the
Yeah.
league.
I'm
No.
just happy there's no week break between lock-in and
Yeah,
LCS.
it's just
We
right
just
away.
keep
Thank
going.
God.
Just keep going,
me
man.
entertained.
That's
It's
right, man.
quarantine.
I just want to see games. That's it.
Make the players do what they're paid for. Play the game.
Exactly. Thank
Exactly.
you.
Oh my god!
Exactly.
When you ask players like, "Wow, they voted to not play the game and get paid," I'm like, "Really? Big surprise there."
Yes, I voted not to
Yeah,
work
I
and
know,
get paid
crazy.
for it. I voted not to
Yeah.
work and get paid.
They're like, they're gonna burn out on their 18 games. The guys just played 15, and some of those guys played 15 2
So,
weeks.
yeah.
or 3
We got a bit of time, right? We normally go an hour and a half. It's an hour and 12 minutes. I could bring up a subject. There's a lot of conversation about best of threes. So we're in a new age. It's been a while since we last did best of threes, about 5 years, I think.
Mhm.
Lock-in tournament just happened. A lot of best of threes, a lot of best ofs. What do you guys think about going back to best of threes?
I always wanted best of threes, but I could see how it would kind of suck against like crappy teams. Like I don't want to see 3 games of Immortals versus Golden Guardians or Dignitas.
But to that argument, we were just talking about how we felt like the bottom teams were looking better than we expected, and maybe there isn't as big of a gap. Golden Guardians, especially, is being a team where we thought they're going to be 10th place. They have a bunch of rookies. Yet they
I mean,
look like one of the
also,
better
I mean, I
bottom
guess to
teams.
support your point as well is that, you know, with the rookies, it gives them more practice, more stage time. And honestly, when you're in playoffs, that's the format. It's best ofs. So regular season, you know, I guess it doesn't give you much practice for that. But I guess you could argue that in regular sports, they don't play best ofs either in the regular season.
True.
So it is a different ball game, so to speak, during the regular season. I'd want it
But-
just from a pure like more games, and I like that you can adjust, you know, different games, like because it is a different game from like basketball or football. It reminds me more of like a card game where you know you have a sideboard and you can swap out cards and then you play again, make
Yeah,
adjustments.
you can like adapt.
Yeah, adapt. And I think part of league's you know strategy is adapting.
Mhm.
And some teams can do it really well as opposed to others. So I guess to answer your question, yes, I do want to see best of threes. Just because I think there's
would
more
say that
good.
some of my worst viewing experiences in League of Legends was NA best of threes. And I watch other leagues that have best of threes. I watch LCK and LPL all the time, and they put
Mhm.
best of threes. I very much enjoy it there. I think that NA best of threes are going to be better than they were before if we did implement them, but we still aren't at the point where we have intelligent enough coaching staffs on the bottom 5 teams, or even the top 5 teams for that matter, to make best of threes not insufferable to watch, honestly. Like I thought C9 versus TL was kind of interesting because they actually kind of went back and forth. Like I pick this or you pick this, and this lost to me last game, so I'm going to ban it or pick this. There was brain power being used. For most of the all the quarterfinals and most of the semifinals, it felt like that was not happening. It felt like the better team just smashed until like they tilted, and I was like, well, all right. If I saw this in best of threes with even worse coaching staffs, it would still be really painful for me. I think it's way more interesting in other leagues just because they have very high caliber players and very high caliber teams, even in their bottoms. Well, our teams are better now. It's significantly better than 3 years ago. Whenever we did that, that was the worst split. That actually killed LCS viewership. And I think that even if there was a good time to do it, they wouldn't take the risk.
Like, with the LCS viewership, though, do you guys remember the format that they did best of threes? I think a lot of people forget this, and I remembered it when I saw it on like a Reddit thread, and I looked back. Is that they had multiple LCS streams going on at the same time. That's actually what killed viewership. You would have C9 versus TSM play a best of 3, while Echo Fox versus blah 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 team played at the same time on a different stream. There's LCS 2 and LCS 3.
Yes.
So maybe it's the implementation of best of threes that was the problem that killed viewership, not actually just best of 3 format.
You definitely have to have more days playing the games like LPL does, because they wouldn't be able to fit it in just a weekend. And when you do that, that's again going to viewership. Would people watch it, on weekdays? When I would, but
I think I would.
Yeah.
Especially
we also
a good time to try.
Quarantine is a good time to try. That's one point. Another point is, just last year, our playoffs were happening on Thursdays and Fridays too, and Mondays and Tuesdays, and people were still watching those. If TSM had to play their losers like bracket best of 5 on a Tuesday, lots of people watched. So
yeah,
that's also quarantine.
5 or 6 days or whatever it would actually end up being if they split it up would be great, because that means at this time every day, or this time every weekday, I can tune in and there's LCS to watch. The only reason I don't watch LCS every day is because it's not on every day. I'll watch it. I mean, it's there. It's just be my it could be a side stream, but if it's a good match, I'll watch it.
I mean, the question is always going to boil down, like, is it going to make them money in the long run? And
more ad time will make them money in the long run, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Watched.
Again, like it would have to break
literally
into...
just the players wouldn't want to do it, I think, because they have to play more, and the coaches.
And then we tell them, look at Korea, look at LPL. They always shit on you. Don't you want to win, guys?
Well, we got shit on that year, but we got shit
they
on
want
that
the
year
money.
They want the money. I think Alistair
They
said
just want the money, man. Yeah. When asked if you would train harder or if you would want to take more breaks, LCS players basically like
don't bring it to the players then. Bring it to the orgs. Orgs, if you win, you make more money. If you win internationally, I promise you, if TSM made it out of groups, there would be a substantial increase in income on their merchandise for TSM.
Yes, for sure. TSM fans would that would keep TSM fans going for another 8 years since season 4,
Dad would buy a TSM jersey. He'd buy a little TSM shoes. He'd buy TSM clothes for all of his kids. He'd buy a TSM helmet.
Did your team win Worlds? It's like, no, they won groups.
You're not wrong.
And they went 0-3 in semis.
You could frame it as you don't have to do scrims anymore. Your scrim block could just be not anymore. You just replace scrim blocks with that, like
exactly, right? And we've
way
heard
better than scrims.
So much of how TSM and C9 they're doing so well at scrims at Worlds. Oh, they didn't make out of groups again. Like scrims don't matter, guys. They really fucking don't. Only matches matter.
I mean, it's a good discussion. I just don't. It doesn't matter because Riot.
It won't happen.
It's not gonna happen.
It will if we do something about it.
I think the only way it could possibly happen, assuming they continue with this current schedule, which I think they will. I think it's a much improved schedule from previous years. Is if every day maybe they had a feature match, and that feature match was a best of 3.
Oh,
and
I like
they
that.
Somehow organize it so every team plays the same amount of best of 3s.
I like that a lot. That's a good one. That's a great one. I like that.
Yeah, that'd be
right.
It's
let's go apply for Riot.
Super Days or whatever they were called before. What were they called again?
Yeah,
when we used
super
to have a
weeks.
lot-
Yeah.
Super weeks or whatever. You could
Yeah,
just have
yeah.
a best of three
One player
day
would
or
play,
whatever.
or one team would play 3 matches on a weekend, where other teams play
If one
2.
player had to play, he'd be like, "Oh God, guys, no, that's yeah."
Get me
Honestly,
out.
that'd be cool. A hybrid format, I could see some value in that for sure.
I
this would
like
be
that
the
a
super hard matchup.
lot.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
would definitely
good
be cool.
one.
That'd be
That's
cool.
a good, and if it works out too, then they can be like evidence to go all best of 3s. So NA can actually make it out of groups and maybe in 10 years win worlds. You know,
Come on, guys.
that's why we're
That
all
year
here,
we-
right?
We want NA
That
to
year
make
was
it past
the
groups.
TSM Super Team, wasn't it? That was the TSM Super Team year we did best of 3s.
Yes,
Yep.
it was.
2016, people thought they were gonna make top 4. It was because of best of 3s. TSM, that arguably that was the best TSM roster. I mean, C9
Penguin.
has had what?
It was the Penguin bot lane.
The penguin.
oh,
Oh,
penguin.
yes.
Sorry, I thought you said
penguin.
penguin. I'm like,
I thought you said
I was like,
penguin too. I was like,
I was
what?
like, "Is he okay? Is Alistar broken?"
Did he have a stroke?
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they
That's
were like
Penguin.
one dash forward under tower away from winning.
Yeah, to make it out of
group,
groups.
yeah.
And they had probably the hardest group they possibly could have gotten.
Yeah, they
As a
were
first
it-
seed.
like
It was
It was just bad
RNG,
seeding
Samsung
system that
Galaxy. yeah.
Samsung Galaxy won Worlds that year, right? No,
No, they
TSM.
got to
It was
finals.
SKT did, and then
yeah, but
they
they
won
made
the
it to
year
f-
after. Yeah,
Like they were SKT and TSM were the only 2 teams to take a game off Samsung Galaxy that entire tournament.
Yep.
TSM was good that year. They get
Yeah.
any other group, they make it out, and that's best of 3s TSM. They were good,
Yeah,
legitimately.
that's true.
They were maybe
So,
better
got-
than
it-
2018 C9 because 2018 C9 just abused the meta like crazy, and all the Korean players sucked at the meta. This time, everybody was playing the same meta, and TSM looked really good on it. I'm sad, guys.
I know. I wanted to. Well, hopefully,
Oh, 6.
hopefully something happens. I think for me, more
Mm.
games the better. But
Yeah.
okay. Anything else you guys want to touch on? That's a good discussion. Now, Riot,
No.
please do something. Okay.
Yeah, we all know Riot's watching right now, right,
Oh,
guys?
we know it. Yeah, we know it.
Yeah.
So okay, that's gonna wrap it up for us. Thank you again to my awesome co-host Kevin, Mitchell, Alistair. You guys always have such wise things to say. You're making me such a smart player, and I feel like I know things. Now maybe I'll make it out of silver eventually. But if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to email us at the allinpodcast lol@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at the allinpodcast. But until next time, enjoy your climb on the rift. Try not to be too toxic. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.